are pleated and cuffed, with 8 belt loops. Most pants have 7, so his have to be specially tailored. A 34 waist and 34 length, but after the pant legs are cuffed, the inseam is 32. His shoes, all 12 identical pairs, are brown and a size 10. More even numbers. It's no accident or coincidence. This stuff really matters to him. He's obviously got an obsessive-compulsive disorder of some kind. I don't know exactly what kind because I'm not a nurse, like his previous assistant Sharona, who left him abruptly to remarry her ex-husband, who, I hear, wasn't such a great guy, but after working with Monk for a short time, I understand why that wouldn't really matter. If I had an ex-husband I could return to, I would. I have no professional qualifications whatsoever. My last job before this one was bartending, but I've also worked as a waitress, yoga instructor, house sitter, and blackjack dealer, among other things. But I know from talking to Stottlemyre that Monk wasn't always so bad. Monk's condition became a lot worse after his wife was murdered a few years ago. I can truly sympathize with that. My husband, Mitch, a fighter pilot, was killed in Kosovo, and I went kind of nuts for a long time myself. Not Monk nuts, of course. Normal nuts. Maybe that's why Monk and I get along better than anybody, particularly me, ever thought we would. Sure, he irritates me, but I know a lot of his peculiarities come from a deep and unrelenting heartbreak that nobody, and I mean nobody, should ever have to go through. So I cut him a lot of slack. But even I have my limits. Which brings me back to finding a hotel room for Monk. To begin with, we could look only at 4-star hotels because 4 is an even number, and a place with only 2 stars couldn't possibly meet Monk's standard of cleanliness. He wouldn't put his dog in a 2-star hotel if he had a dog, which he doesn't, and never would, because dogs are animals who lick themselves and drink out of toilets. The first place we went to on that rainy Friday was the Belmont in Union Square, one of the finest hotels in San Francisco. Monk insisted on visiting every vacant room the grand old Belmont had before deciding which one to occupy. He looked only at even-numbered rooms on even-numbered floors, of course. Although the rooms were identically furnished and laid out the same way on every floor, he found something wrong with each one. For instance, one room didn't feel symmetrical enough. Another room was too symmetrical. One had no symmetry at all. All the bathrooms were decorated with some expensive floral wallpaper from Italy, but if the strips of wallpaper didn't line up just right, if the flowers and their stems didn't match up exactly on either side of the cut, Monk declared the room uninhabitable. By the 10th room, the hotel manager was guzzling little bottles of vodka from the minibar, and I was tempted to join him. Monk was on his knees, examining the wallpaper under the bathroom counter, wallpaper that nobody would ever see unless they were on their knees under the bathroom counter, and pointing out a critical mismatch. And that's when I cracked. I couldn't take it anymore, and I did something I never would have done if I hadn't been under extreme emotional and mental duress. I told Monk he could stay with us. I said it just to end my immediate suffering, not realizing in that instant of profound weakness the full, horrific ramifications of my actions. But before I could take it back, Monk immediately accepted my invitation, and the hotel manager nearly kissed me in gratitude. But I don't want to hear any complaints about how my house is arranged, or how dirty you think it is, or how many critical mismatches there are, I said to Monk as we started down the stairs to the lobby. I'm sure it's perfect, Monk said. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Mr. Monk. You're starting already. He looked at me blankly. All I said was that I'm sure it's perfect. Most people would take that as the sincere compliment it was meant to be.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.